Hi everyone, welcome to Dave's Bonsai. On today's show, there is something on this table that I'm going to find to do some work on. It's Thanksgiving Day, and it's one of those quiet days of the year. So I have my stepkids here in the morning, and then they go to their dad's house around noon. And from noon until the rest of the day, well, all the other family members, my kids are at their mom's house, and other relatives are at their house, and we have everybody over the next day on Friday. So after all of my chores have been complete, well, most of them, I just started baking one of my traditional pies. Although we don't really bake the pie, but that's another story for another day. I've done some cleaning the basement area. People want to play some pool, throw some darts, hang out, cozy fireplace. That's all clean, ready to go. So it's time to get my hands dirty in a different way, and that's with bonsai trees. Because when it's a quiet day and there's not a whole lot to do but sit around and wait for the next movie we might watch, let's work on a tree. So let me grab the camera and give you a couple of shots of the table here up close, and we'll see what we can pick out and work on today. Before I bring you to the table, I'll have to let you know that I got rid of my wooden table back here as part of that quest to have less mold in the house for health purposes. We got rid of the wooden shelf here, so this is all plastic. It's not going to hold on to that mold as easily, and it's also easy to clean, so those shelving systems have some bonsai stuff in them. And then I got a nice little corner there. It's getting plenty of light from the fish pot tank for the hibiscus tree, which is doing really good. So nice and green and loving life over there in that corner. And as I go check the humidity, it's interesting. When I first started to think about filming today, it was 47% only a few moments ago. And I turn off the dehumidifier, and look, it's already at 52% humidity. 5-point jump just since I started to film here. So pretty crazy. So I just did some trims. Recently released episode. All my variegated Benjamina ficuses sitting underneath that light now and doing good. But the table here. What to do? There's the Dracaenas right here. They're still doing really, really well. Loving life there underneath the lights. We got some tropical ficus trees here. We got the tiger bark back there. I've got all my cuttings for my PAs. Hey, there's the Schefflera. We should pull that out for a highlight today. And then we've got the one of my Melina trees. Got some nice new growth on there, the lighter colored leaves. Yeah, the Mingarelias are doing really good here in the plant room, seem to be loving life, the original tree, and we also have the cuttings that are alive. And there's my triangularis variegated ficus tree there. We cut it way back. It was touching up here at the light. We cut it down a good 6 inches here and got rid of a lot of foliage. And there's all kinds of little itty bitty growth up here. You can see maybe some little tiny growth right in there. There's some tiny growth right in there. So there's some growth and back budding. There was even a little tiny one growing way in there by my finger. Not sure if you can see the green or not. So that's love and life. And what else we got back there? We can kind of sneak back here. We got a couple. Oh, we got my goldfish trees. Those bloomed once this year. I'll pull those out later on and show you the goldfish trees there. But tucked in there, it just dawned on me. We have 2 new Scheffleras back there too. One we repotted into the white pot, and then we have some in the glass jar back there. Let's see if we can grab the glass jar and see how the roots are doing. Oh, look at that. We have a lot of roots on the Scheffleras. We are going to put that on the spin table, and we're going to put that into a bonsai pot today. Our jar with the Schefflera, which is a cutting from my Mother-In-Law Schefflera, which I'll show you right now, has lots of roots on there. So let's give you an update on my Mother-In-Law Schefflera. Thanks to Sue, my mother-in-law, for giving me this original cutting from her big Schefflera in her front living area. And we've got a big aerial root coming down here. This root down here is getting real thick too, so we'll have to sort that out maybe when we repot this one next. But I've got all kinds of new growth in the plant room. So if I covered these 2 leaves right here, and this back one here, and this little one back here, and this one right there maybe, right? Everything else is new. So all this new growth from the plant room, loving life, doing really well. This was the main trunk. We cut that back, and we've got 1, 2, a double back here, and a whole bunch of branches right here we've got some choices to make in the near future about which one we're going to keep there. And this one that was going to be maybe the new leader is super strong, and it's got 1, 2, 3 of this little tiny one right there, 4. We've got some decisions to make in the future. It certainly is doing well. This back branch as well, it almost looks like a continuation of this root right here. It goes up like that. But there's the Mother-In-Law Schefflera. So Sue Schefflera looking really nice. We'll set that aside. And from that, the last time we did cut that when we brought it in, we did put this one into a pot. So I believe I have this one in the jars over in my other part of my plant room, and so we've got this one hanging out over by the window there. We've got this triple branch structure going right here, so it's kind of interesting. I don't know if all 3 are going to stay on this tree or not, but it's kind of an interesting curve to this tree right off the get-go, and everything seems to be enjoying life. So this is a Schefflera from Grandma Sue, Mother-in-Law Sue, and then we're left with this one. So cuttings from the mother tree, and we're going to put this one in a pot today. So I've chosen this black pot that I recently put another cutting in, and it didn't take. And so I think this would be a good size for these trees right here as they get started and get put on some more root growth, a year or 2 in this pot, and then we'll put it up in a bigger pot. Now I have 2 single trees, one bigger one and one smaller one. So this is 2 trees. You can see all the new growth on there as well. Look at that young leaf right there. Look at that itty bitty one right there. Right there, that little itty bitty one. Same on this one, itty bitty one doing some growth. So we've got not as radial on this one, but pretty close. And there's one up top here that will probably, oh, that one just comes right off. So we got that bottom section right there. So we're going to leave that alone. We're not going to touch any of these roots. It's going to be super gentle. So we'll lay that down nice. And then this one right here is an interesting story. So what I've thought about doing with this tree is to combine these to make a twin trunk. Maybe future banyan style with all kinds of roots. And the only way I could do that though, the roots are a little sparse down here, and they go out this way. So they go out this way. So I'd want those roots to stay nice and come around here. We'd have kind of that root flare at the bottom, but then the tree's curving back in on itself. So I thought maybe if I twist it around this way and go lower with this second subset of roots right here, look at the nice roots right here. And we can lay those underneath, and then we can go ahead and we can just do this right here. Chop that off. And if I put this into some soil, I bet you that's going to root as well. So we'll put that in the side of the pot, and we'll just see if it stays alive, because there's roots on it already, right? So we're going to go ahead and put these into the pot right next to each other. I may even put a little bit of, maybe twine at the bottom there and wrap them together. So I'm going to get myself set up, get my soil close by, go grab a little piece of twine. We'll wrap those together here for the first year of its life, and then we'll put this in the pot and we'll have a twin trunk in the near future. I have some twine here that I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap around this bottom of the trunk. We will get ourselves a little bit of a twin trunk style going here. So I'm going to lay the twine down there. Carefully not to, these are very delicate roots. There we go. And just like we're wrapping a present at the holiday season, we're going to go ahead and try to tie this together without breaking any of these roots. Okay, a couple of them want to keep going up there into that twine. All right. Okay, so here's the first attempt there. Not too bad. I'm going to twist this around just a little bit. Right like that. There we go. All right. So if I can bring the twine down a little bit more. Here we go. Okay. So I just have a simple knot in there. And then if I pick this up right here, I think we have our tree that'll go into our pot here now. And so I got a big root off of this one right here. It's coming off this way and a couple shooting out this way. And then this big tree has this split of roots right down here. We won't cut any of these roots off. We'll save that for the next iteration of this tree. And we're just going to put that right in there. Oh, this is great. So I'm going to get some bonsai soil here in the bottom. Get a nice place to put this in. Got some of the fines falling out of there. There we go. Now, this branch is going to be too low, and this branch is going on the inside. We're going to cut those two off so we can bury this a little bit deeper than maybe I would. All right. Okay. There. I think if I get one more little scoop in here. Look at that, it's going to stand up straight right there. All right, so I'm going to move this over a little bit to this side. Not that it's really crucial this time of the planting. This is a young tree that's got some nice new roots. It just needs to keep growing here in the plant room. Gaining all kinds of little roots. And I think one more. And let's see what we got here. Now I got to be very careful. I'm not going to tamp this down like I typically would with a repot because these are really soft and supple roots, right? So we want to make sure that they are just being taken good care of. So we've got a mixture here. This is my trio mix. This is a third akadama, a third lava rock, and a third pumice. It's my smalls. So it's a really nice, and it's going to hold some moisture for this Schefflera. So there we have a Schefflera that's going to be growing up into a twin trunk for sure. We connected at the bottom. The roots are down there, fanning out the opposite directions right now. We're going to have 365-degree radial roots in no time, and this is going to be an absolutely fun little journey here. So we've got one more branch here. Shall we cut off this one right here? Let's go ahead and do that right now. We'll cut that one off. There we go. We got this tree growing up this way. This is growing up this way. We're just going to leave all of that on there to grow big and strong, and we'll give this a little watering and we'll be good to go. Okay, I've got my little tray here that's used for my repotting, and I got to be able to catch some water here, so I got this little watering can here. I'm going to go ahead and give this is the same water that the roots were just in, so I'm going to recycle that water and get that all around this structure right here. Nice good water that it's been sitting in there getting used to. And then we're not quite dripping out of there yet, so let's get it some more. This is the recycled water from the dehumidifier. I did bring one 5-gallon bucket of water from my garage cold frame that had rainwater in it. And then I put it in here, and that water has been used to water the plants, and then the water collected from the air has gone back in the dehumidifier. And I keep recycling the water, and so it's really good, healthy water. Well, that's a fun little tree, huh? Look at that. We've got a twin trunk in the makings. We've got some nice movement on this one already to the left. This one's growing up this way. It's going to want to get big and tall. We can put this one back on the bench by the window and hope it keeps doing what it's been doing. So that one and this one will go back in place. So let's go put those back on the shelf, and then I'll be right back to do one more little piece with this assignment today. Well, we're not quite done yet. Remember the little piece of that trunk I cut off with the roots in there? We're going to go ahead and put this in the ground next to our other tree here, the big one, and we're just going to see what it's going to do for possible growth. Since all the big, thick growth is over here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dig a little hole here and see if we can get this thing in the ground and root up and get another tree, and who knows? Maybe we'll give this one to my friend Henry. He's got a lot of Schefflera, though. He might even have a Brazilian rain tree. I don't know if he has it or not, but this Schefflera here. Now, again, roots that are super sensitive. I'm bumping into some roots on this one from the other tree. But if I go right here, kind of lay it sideways just a little bit. And we'll see if we can get that to stay down there. Let's go a little bit lower there. All right. And what I'm going to do is get some more of my smalls here to cover that up so it doesn't dry out. And that root then can take shape. And so we have this little itty bitty stalk of a tree sticking up. Talk about a stick in a pot. That's barely a stick. It's in a pot, but it's barely a stick. There we go. Let's give that some fresh water. Got plenty of roots down there to support this stick in a pot. Let's see if we get another tree there. It's planted at a severe angle. Maybe we'll get some nice curve up there and have a trunk that already curves. That's another tip for you if you're ever doing cuttings in whatever kind of system you've got set up. Make sure that you plant some, not just stick straight up, but plant them at an angle so then they want to start curving already with the natural sunlight or artificial light you're using. Have everything move around so it creates those bends naturally right from the get-go. So we're going to put this back on the shelf, and yeah, all our Scheffleras are ready for winter. As we take a peek back at the bench where all the trees are, we've got the great big Schefflera in the back corner there with the new stump. There's the Mother-In-Law Schefflera. And we have back there in the white, that's the Schefflera cutting we had earlier in this season. And then right next to that there now is the new Schefflera cutting in the black pot right down there. It's probably getting not focused great because of where I'm at, but it's back there. So we have room on our shelf. Nothing really changed. We just went from a jar to a small pot. And look at that. In the time we've been filming, we're at 66% humidity. It's time to get that dehumidifier back on soon. The new Scheffleras are in their home. They're going to do well here all winter long, I think. We've got the big light up top to provide some extra light because the north-facing window behind me not providing the light that we'd like to have. I think they're going to do just fine there. So the trees are happy. I've got a couple of things to share with you today. Two things. One is an update. Let's take a quick picture of the actual Thanksgiving centerpiece as it bloomed as of today. So I took a picture as I was filming this on Thanksgiving. The secondary bud did not really want to move much more forward, probably because it's a little cooler by the window that it's at. I should have kept it in more warm air to maybe push that flower out. But the original flower, opening up in all its glory, it's going to stick around for a couple of days. So here is the Thanksgiving cactus all blooming for our centerpiece for the dinner, which will be for me a few minutes down the road, a couple of hours, but for all of you folks, it's already come and gone. So happy belated Thanksgiving if I didn't catch you on the last show. The second thing I wanted to talk to you about was this. Yep, yours truly in a Santa suit with two elves on my knee with a picture of my brother and his good buddy John, and my head is replaced with a bass. I think it's a bass, a fish nonetheless. What is this madness? Well, you know, my brother and his good buddy John go up to the cabin a lot, and it's the Cabin Country Podcast. Check it out, the Cabin Country Podcast. I'll have a link in the description below. They talk a lot about the good old days when we used to go up to the cabin with our dads and kind of all the things that happen in cabin life and all the old fishing tackle and then the day-to-day taking care of a cabin and the histories, and they have a lot of good fun and silliness. They've got some quirky senses of humor. Check it out. It is the Cabin Country Podcast. Again, the link is down in the description below. And I went to go borrow something from my brother the other day, and he said, "Hey, do you have to go run some errands real quick, Dave, or can you do me a favor?" I said, "Sure, what the heck?" And he goes, it entails you dressing up as Santa." I said, "All right, whatever it takes." And so there was my rendition of Santa Claus with a fish head so I could support my brother and his buddy with some oddities and goofball silliness. Lots of fun. Yeah, there's nothing like the creative types, right? Absolutely a blast. So go check out the Cabin Country Podcast, link below again, and you might have some fun there if you've ever gone up north to the cabin in your childhood, or you currently do it with your family. That is going to do it for this show. The Scheffleras are where they need to be, and yes, there's more holiday preparations for me to do in the house, so I got to shut this operation down and get to that work, and so we can have some great Thanksgiving time. So until the next time, hey, take care of you, take care of your bonsai, and we're going to catch you real soon. More than likely right here in the plant room.